Hey, welcome to CS Connect. My name's Mike. This is Pat and Diana.
Hey.
Hello.
And we're here today. We're talking about something really important, cupcakes and Hawaii. Hey, so I was driving home last night from work and pulling in my neighborhood, there's this super cute little old couple, right? And they're outside and they have this like pink little tablecloth over a table and a sign that they made, and it just said free cupcakes.
Wow.
And they're sitting on the side of the street and they're giving away free cupcakes.
I love that.
I don't know how many people are actually stopping
Yeah.
and eating cupcakes
Yeah.
touched by other humans, but the point is it got us really thinking and talking together about the idea of a generous heart.
Yeah.
People who live a generous life.
Yeah.
So what if we talk about that a little bit today?
Yeah. Well, some of that is just the lens you look through, right? People that have a generous heart, it's the worldview they have. It reminds me of maybe one of the greatest days of my life was my birthday. But not because it was my birthday, because on my birthday, our first grandchild was born.
Oh,
So a little girl, in the first year, she actually lived with us. They lived with us. But when they got ready to move, oh man, it was a horrible day for me. So I remember sitting on the back patio. We're in this little swing. I'm sitting with my granddaughter. She's about a year old now, and I start like ugly crying. You know what I mean, Mike,
Yeah.
right? You've ugly cried.
I don't do it much, but I do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Like I'm heaving, snot's pouring down my face. I'm hugging my little granddaughter, and she kind of squeezes my arm a little bit. It was just, I'll never forget that day.
Yeah.
But they moved. He gets stationed in Hawaii. My son, they moved to Hawaii. After that, every time I spent anything, like going to get coffee, whatever, I always started looking through this lens of, oh man, if I total up what I spent on coffee this month, that's half a ticket to Hawaii. It was all about, how do I get to go see my granddaughter?
It's kind of like your values shifted of seeing her being in Hawaii is so important. So I'm going to make my decisions and filter them through what I'm prioritizing.
It's totally that. It's the values. My top value then was, how do I get to see her? Which is why I think when Jesus says, store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, what he's actually saying is our top value should be to be these people with generosity and a heart to give.
And that cares about others, right? Like one of Jesus's top values was he constantly prioritized people.
Yeah.
And he saw people that others didn't see.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And I think that kind of plays into like somebody who may be watching they think when a church or even a believer, a follower of Jesus starts talking about generosity, they think immediately money or financial, right? Yeah. But it's so much more than that. Think about what Jesus said. He's asking us to store treasure up. You know, part of that certainly is partnering with the local church and seeing God's kingdom expand, but it's so much bigger than that, you know?
Well, he says elsewhere, he says, even a cup of cold water given in my name will not go without being rewarded. So this couple you saw that are giving away cupcakes, that's their cup of cold water. And Jesus is saying, I will not forget that.
And more than that, they're giving away hope. Like someone who's in a high risk bracket is showing smiles. And I love that you remembered the pink tablecloth, right? Like
little
it's
dots
just
on
this
it.
bright, happy gift to the neighborhood of saying, hey, we love you. We see you. We want to give you this gift of joy.
Yeah. And I think, you know, too, to that point, like the idea of giving hope, right? We tend to think about generosity as what we have in our bank. Like what we have stored up, whether it's financial or whether it's a physical resource, how much of it can we afford to give away? But sometimes we have access to never-ending resources like hope. And we get to be generous with things that are always flowing. They're always coming through Jesus and what he's done in our life. And so, you know, as we're thinking about generosity, I think it's just that encouragement to say, hey, this isn't about how much money you have. This isn't about how healthy you are. This is about what is God doing in your life that you can share and give to other people around you.
That's good. Hey, you guys, your stories are making me think. One of our good friends posted on Facebook that as they were driving into their neighborhood, one of the community members had a table that said, hey, leave something on one side of the table. And they had a sign on the other side of the table that says, need something, take something. And there was like 3 bags of toilet paper and so many pantry goods. And I thought, man, sometimes being generous, sometimes valuing other people, we can get overwhelmed by saying, I can't change the entire Phoenix Valley. I can't feed every hungry kid. I can't take care of every neighbor. But this particular community, they said, you know what? We're going to start where we're at. We're going to start with our neighbors, and we're not going to do nothing because we're so overwhelmed by how much need there is. And that's really encouraging in this conversation.
Yeah, it's really good. And I hope today that we're just reminded as you're watching just that God has called you to be generous in every area of your life. And whether that's with love and hope and grace and forgiveness, or whether it's financially, you're helping people close by, whether it's you're being faithful in giving. It's the moment that you and I, as followers of Jesus, we get to say, God, express your generosity through our lives.
One of the things that I've been thinking about is how fun is it to partner with God? I keep thinking of that older couple. Like, I bet they went home back into their house at the end of the night and just smiled. Like, I'm sure people were waving at them.
Absolutely.
I'm sure, like, as they were giving smiles, people were giving back to them. That's the crazy thing about hanging out with Jesus is when we partner with him, he says it's better to give than receive. And it's a gift to be a part of.
And when you give, you find out how true that is.
Absolutely.
That's great. So I think the encouragement is just that, right? Like, do that this week. Partner with what God wants to do in your life. Partner with whatever he's doing. Be a part of that, whether it's hope and love and forgiveness to those around you, whether it's financial in some capacity that you're doing in your city or through your church. Look for an opportunity to show the heart of generosity that God is building inside of you. So, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
We'll see you.